Imagine a nurse you trust caring for a dying patient, then quietly injecting a lethal dose and walking away. Over 16 years, one man did exactly that. Welcome to the terrifying true story of Charles Cullen, the most prolific hospital serial killer in US history. Charles Edmund Cullen was born on February 22, 1960 in New Jersey. On paper, he was a normal man, a registered nurse. But behind the hospital doors, he hid a horrifying secret. Over a 16-year nursing career, Cullen murdered scores of patients, possibly hundreds, turning medicine meant to heal into a weapon of death. In December 2003, Cullen's crimes finally caught up with him. He was arrested, confessed to dozens of murders, and was later sentenced to multiple life sentences. But how could a nurse, a caregiver, become one of America's worst serial killers? And how did he evade detection for so long? Let's dig into three main truths that explain the horror behind the mask of care. First, hospitals as killing grounds. Cullen worked in hospitals across New Jersey and Pennsylvania, moving from one facility to another over his career. Hospitals, with regular emergencies, frequent deaths, and chaotic shifts, provided the perfect cover. Unexpected deaths were often blamed on illness or complications, not foul play. What made Cullen's method especially chilling was his use of common medications. Instead of obvious narcotics, Cullen used drugs like digoxin and insulin, medications meant to help regulate heart rhythm or blood sugar, but in doses high enough to kill. These medications were less strictly monitored, and their overdose deaths often mimicked natural hospital fatalities. He also exploited hospital drug systems. By manipulating computerized drug dispensing cabinets, he removed lethal doses without leaving proper records. Then, when patients showed signs of distress, Cullen would be the first responder, playing the part of the saving nurse. This twisted performance helped his crimes remain hidden. Second, the scale of horror. By the time of his arrest, Cullen confessed to around 40 murders. Officially, prosecutors secured convictions for at least 29 patients. But most experts believe the real death toll is much higher, possibly between 300 and 400 victims. This would make Charles Cullen one of the most prolific serial killers in American history. Over the years, Cullen moved between at least 9 hospitals. Each time suspicions arose, the hospital quietly fired him instead of reporting him, allowing him to escape scrutiny and continue killing elsewhere. The result? A trail of grief across states, with dozens of families mourning loved ones lost under suspicious circumstances. Third, the collapse. How he was finally exposed. The turning point came when a colleague nurse working alongside Cullen began noticing disturbing patterns. Patients under his care were dying unexpectedly, often in sequences. She raised the alarm, risking her job and safety. Her persistence eventually led her to cooperate with detectives. Investigators combed through hospital records, medication logs, and patient files across multiple hospitals. They discovered suspicious spikes in digoxin and insulin orders, often followed by patient deaths. Forensic analysis and careful investigation tied these deaths to Cullen. In 2004 to 2006, Cullen pleaded guilty to multiple murder charges in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and received 18 consecutive life sentences. He would spend the rest of his life behind bars. But the tragedy doesn't end there. The case of Charles Cullen is not just about a monster hiding in scrubs. It's a chilling reminder of how trust in caregivers, in institutions, can be betrayed. Hospitals prioritized reputation over patient safety. Systems designed to protect were manipulated. And when individuals raised alarms, often they were dismissed. Charles Cullen may be behind bars, but the wounds, the grief, the unanswered questions remain. We owe it to the victims to remember them and to demand accountability.